you like spaghetti?
Line 1 gives the best deal. Line 1. Oh yeah, I know.
Hello, sir. Spaghetti?
I will.
Apparently, I don't want to brag, but like spaghetti night has been rated the best free meal in town. So, so that's pretty cool.
For me, what attracted me to Andre House was the way in which we serve the meal. I've been to other soup kitchens and it's very, cook the meal, serve the meal, it's done. And after I left Andre House and I went back to the soup kitchen near my college, I wanted to eat with everybody and say hello, and I just got so used to it.
That's one of the reasons I've been at Andre House so long. When I first came as an intern, there were about 5 older ladies who came every Wednesday, and they just kind of took me in as their surrogate granddaughter, and they'd be like, how's nursing school? How are you doing?
All of the staff members are just make it so simple and easy to be a part of the community. It's not like a job where you have to just clock in and clock out. I just feel like everyone pulls together and just works as hard as they can to really make things happen.
Andre House, I mean, you walk in the doors and you have volunteers that have been coming here for 15 years that greet you. And as soon as my mom walked in, he like took my mom in right away and was like, here, let's go. Like, oh, I can't believe you're out here. It's so nice to have you.
I started as a volunteer 16 years ago. I've been on staff for 1 year. That's what we are more than anything, is a house of hospitality to not only our guests, but to each other, to everybody that walks into this door. So I feel that our volunteers are treated with that hospitality, our guests are treated with that hospitality that's just rooted in this love, and it just keeps you coming back.
Our core teams are phenomenal. They're generous, they're resilient, they're compassionate, they want to live out their faith, they want to make a contribution. And they come to us with all these sort of great raw skills, and really what we try to develop are servant leaders.
I was trying to think about what I wanted to do after I graduated college, and I wanted to do something meaningful. And I mean, you learn about all of the problems that are in the world and you're stuck in a classroom. And then I came to a place that had a community that was actually doing all of these things, and I thought, this is for me. So when you turn on the news and you feel defeated, it's like, well, today I've done everything I could to try to help a few people.
This is one of the places where like I've really been able to connect like, you know, religion with like actual like human works. Because I mean, when you're in school, it's like, you'll like, I mean, I was raised Catholic, and so I like go to mass and stuff, but it's hard to like immediately apply it. But this is like Matthew 25, feed the hungry, clothe the naked. Check that. So yeah, so that's been really awesome.
I can't imagine that anybody gets out of college or is a young professional who has more responsibility right out of school. We ask a lot of them. You know, they come in and they manage literally over the course of the year thousands of volunteers.
You learn a lot of things that you never thought you would learn, like how to manage making a meal for 700 people with 20 volunteers. Like, oh my gosh, how do you do this? Like, you know, definitely, yeah, get some groundwork in managing skills. That's good.
There's not a career in the world that as a young person you will not be significantly better prepared to go into than if you hadn't done this type of work. You're going to be mature, you're going to be open-minded, you're going to have a larger worldview. Most importantly, you're going to understand something about community, right? You know, in college we live in community to a degree, but in this circumstance where the decisions that you make daily can affect hundreds of people's lives, you're going to understand why community is important. And that's a beautiful thing.
We have a staff house where we all live together in community, and it's super fun. And then we can walk to work if we want, or we have community cars that we drive. All of our needs are pretty much taken care of, and we can just focus on the job here.
Just hanging out with my staff friends is amazing. At nighttime we just go home and we're all just sitting around the kitchen We have a beautiful living room that we could all sit in, but instead we all just congregate in the kitchen, like so we're sitting on the floor and the countertop, and we only have 3 table chairs and kitchen table chairs, and it's just fun sitting around just talking and being with our community and all these sorts of funny shenanigans that happen when you're living in a community with people of all sorts of different backgrounds.
It's really just forming a bond that is lifelong. It's special. Being able to go home at the end of the day. You know, I certainly am not a quiet person, so we'd sort of rehash the day, talk about, you know, what our experiences with the guests mean in terms of larger society, religion, the world, economics. It was just nice to be able to come home and, you know, and really be there for one another, right? Really share what we went through that day, what we saw the people we served going through, and figuring out, you know, what we could do better, right? What we could do more of, how we could sort of re-energize to give more the next day, and that continues to inspire me today.
I like living intentionally and living a life of meaning and focused on simplicity and community and taking care of those who we've kind of forgotten about.
I love cooking, and I love cooking for people. On Thursdays, I get to cook lunch for people, and it's really fun trying like new recipes and going to food banking, kind of seeing, it's kind of like a TV show where it's like Top Chef.
People love what they're doing and they put their heart into preparing a meal.
Oh, I love Tuesdays though, because I love like talking and running around with people and like doing things. Like, yeah, so that's just, I love it.
You never know, every day is different. You never know what it's going to be from one day to the next.
You will have a life-changing, heart-opening, sort of character-developing experience that's really unlike any other. There's great service opportunities out there, but this is one of the few that gives you a lot of responsibility in a small community setting where you're touching people's lives who are among those most in need in the world. And you're going to have a chance to be a part of that, to transform lives in that way. It's invaluable.
It's by being weak that we're made strong. That's our core team. Incredibly weak and vulnerable, but extraordinarily strong.